Mrs. Wread, back to share the concluding chapter, meaning the last chapter of Robert Louis Stevenson's Treasure Island, the abridged version by Lisa Norby. This is chapter 11. If you recall, at the end of chapter 10, Jim Hawkins finally met up with the doctor and the squire, Mr. Gray, and he still had Long John with him. They kind of come into an encounter with some pirates, and someone had fired some shots and killed 2 pirates, and the other 3 pirates ran away. So Jim finally realized his friends were still there and he was now safe. So, the final chapter, get comfy, get ready to be a listener. Let's go. Chapter 11, the end of my story. As soon as everyone had caught his breath, Dr. Livesey told me how he had set a trap for the pirates. While I was away from the fort, the doctor had gone to see Ben Gunn. He had learned that Ben had dug up Flint's treasure a long time ago. That gave the doctor an idea. He had told Long John that our side was ready to make a deal in exchange for some food. And in exchange for food, we would give up the fort and the map. I remember that. Dr. Livesey knew that when the pirates found the empty hole, they would lose their tempers. They would start to fight, and with any luck, they'd just kill each other off. But that was before the doctor knew I was a hostage. When he found that out, that I had Long John with me. He knew that he had to hurry up and get help. And in the meantime, Ben Gunn ran up to Spyglass Hill. He kept the pirates busy by pretending to be Flint's ghost. So remember, he was singing that "Yo ho ho" in a bottle of rum song. Now I knew that Ben Gunn wasn't crazy after all. He had saved my life. And what's more, he had been telling the truth when he told me that he was rich. Because when we got to his cave in the side of the hill, there was Flint's treasure. I'd never seen so much gold. There were gold bars, there were pieces of 8, which is money. Round coins, square coins, coins with pictures of all the kings of the world. Captain Smollett was in the cave too. Remember, he had been wounded in the battle for the fort. But he was already feeling better, and he was going to be all right. Later that day, we found the Hispaniola, and for all that poor ship had been through, the ship was not in bad shape after all. The next morning, we started loading Flint's treasure onto the ship. Look at all of that gold. Oh my goodness. He must be in heaven. That is a lot of gold and treasure. There was so much gold that it took us so many trips to move it all. Long John was our prisoner now. The 3 pirates who ran away were still free, hiding in the forest. But they didn't try to stop us. I think they had had their fill of fighting. 3 days went by, and at last all the gold was on board, and we set sail for home. We left the 3 pirates on the island. It was way too dangerous to take them with us, so they marooned them temporarily on the island. But later, we would send a Navy ship to go pick them up. That's like sending the police to go get them away. The adventure was over, but not for Long John Silver. Now that he was caught, he tried to change sides again. He reminded Dr. Livesey that he had kept the other pirates from killing me. And he claimed that he had been trying to help us all along. I'm with you hand in glove. I still do not trust him. He said, I'll say this for Long John, he never gave up. He could out-talk the devil himself. But this time, I knew better than to believe him. I couldn't forget that he had been ready to kill me as soon as he got his hands on that gold. Good for Jim. That seems like he's using his common sense and good judgment. We had decided to take Long John home to England to stand trial. That's fair. But we had to make one stop first. We found an island where there was a small village. We left Ben Gunn on the ship to guard our prisoner, Long John. And the rest of us went ashore to buy food and supplies. Well, now they have all that gold, they can buy all the stuff they need, right? When we got back to the ship, Long John was gone. And so was one small sack of gold from our treasure. Ben Gunn had helped Long John escape. We were amazed, but Ben explained that he was so afraid of Long John, he just didn't want to have him on board anymore. Well, we're rid of him, he said, and the journey back to England went quickly. We were sad that poor Mr. Hunter, Mr. Joyce, and Tom Redworth had been killed. Those of us who did make it home were rich, though. Ben Gunn spent his share of the treasure in a few weeks. Soon he was his old self again, poor but happy, and the rest of us, we were set for life. As for Long John Silver, we never heard what became of him or his green parrot, but somehow I don't think that he came to a very good end. I'm wondering what he means by that. Now that my story is done, I will tell you a secret. There were 3 X's on Captain Flint's boat map. One marked the spot where the gold was buried. That was the treasure that we found. The other X marked the place where Flint had hidden his guns. And the third X showed where he had buried many bars of silver. And as far as I know, the silver is still on Treasure Island. But I'm sure I will never go back to look for it. I wouldn't return to that place for anything in the world. Would you? And that, my friends, is the end of chapter 11 and our story. Thanks for tuning in for 11 chapters of a read aloud and being great listeners. I hope you enjoyed this story, and I hope it got your brain cranking and thinking how exciting and cool a treasure hunt would be. See you next time.